Just kind of real quick, want to ask you just kind of your overall impressions, 4 games of the cornerbacks and the nickels, kind of what you've seen, what you've liked, what you haven't liked.
Yep. I think the biggest thing is growth. Growth has to continue to happen, right? We're kind of a young group and an inexperienced group that you didn't kind of seen, they're starting that has to gel together, right? So I think the growth is really what, you got to continue to see from that group grow. But the thing that I've liked most about them is that they're competing their tails off, they're communicating, and they're fighting to get on the same page, and that's the biggest thing, right? So as long as they continue to fight to get on the same page, you will see the growth continue from that group who is still, their best ball is still definitely ahead of them.
Just to ask Coach Dicker a little about Jaylen Edmond, how he's played the 4 games, will probably continue to play. Just where have you kind of seen him grow as a true freshman, finding a way to hit the field on both I get a little photobomb from Moku there. A little kind of growing both as a guy playing on special teams and also getting some chances at corner and nickel.
Yep. I think it's adaptability, right? Because again, he went through all spring as a nickel, and we moved him over to corner. What he's continued to do is just be available for whatever we need him to do, and I think that's always good to see when you see that in a young guy that's willing to be adaptable and say, okay, coach, you need me here, I'm ready to go. Coach, you need me here, I'm ready to go. So he's still obviously learning, and he's getting better and better. And I think as those games continue to go, that he will continue to get better. So he's doing a good job and playing with good effort and playing with that no fear mentality that usually true freshmen have, right? So no, it's good, and I'm excited to continue to watch him grow.
And then just want to ask about Ethan as well. Maybe he had some tougher moments on Friday. Obviously San Jose State was able to throw the ball pretty effectively, but comes back with a huge interception in overtime. What does that kind of speak to his growth, not only as a player, but at kind of the mental side of things as well, that he's able to recover and make a big play in that spot?
I mean, you show me a corner ain't never been beat before, and I might call you a liar, right? No, it's about responding, and it's about living in the moment. And I know Coach Brown really talks to those guys about living in the moment, right? And there's nothing he can do about the touchdown that he gave up or the big ball that he gave up but respond. And so to see that come in fruition, especially for a young kid. The young kids, it's hard to rebound from those things like that. And, he lived in the moment and came back and made a big play because, that first touchdown was not going to be all the Cougs needed from him. And so I was real excited to really see him be able to bounce back and make a play. And that's good for his confidence. That's good for everybody. So, yeah, his growth has been really, really good. And, again, like I said, he's young. So, you're going to continue to see him make some of those plays that he's seen on film by reaction and just understanding compared to just true athletic ability.
By facing a lot of these explosive offenses, UW, San Jose State, what does your secondary learn, and what specifically the nickels and safeties learned from facing opponents like that?
You mean like having the leading receiver in the country, then coming back with the leading rusher in the country? I think they're learning that every week is a new week, right? And, you have to try to cut the head off the snake of what it is that they do best and what it is that they major in. But again, I think they're learning that, as you continue to play different teams, all these teams have some good qualities and very good offenses. So it's just been adapting to whatever the plan is and what we're trying to focus to take away, and then really honing in on that and attempting to do so.
How have you seen Tyson specifically respond to some of those challenges?
Yeah, Tyson, I mean, he is a guy that he can take me chewing his butt. He can take getting beat. Tyson didn't play so much football in his college career, so he's already had those ups and downs and know how to respond to them. So Tyson is still, again, and I keep going back to the same thing of how new all these guys is. He's playing a new position, and so you're seeing some of the roller coasters. But again, I think as it continues to go, that some of those mistakes that he's making will be a little bit lower. The first game he was a little bit nervous, and then he came and had an excellent second game, right? A couple of mistakes in game 3, and then came back, kind of bounced back and played better in game 4. So just got to see the consistency out of him, and like Tyson's been a breath of fresh air for the group and for the team and all around for Coug Nation.
It's not every day you face a team where the running back is such a big, central focus of the offense. With guys in the secondary, what's your message to them, and how do you kind of keep them, their eyes in the right spot?
Yep, I think when you're playing a running back such as the one we're about to go against, I think it's understanding that the scheme, the schematics of what it is that we do, you got to be locked on that. But the most important thing that's going to help you have success and help us win this game is our tackling plan, not our game plan. All right, obviously we got to have our game plan that's sound to be able to do the things that they do. But I mean, you got to tackle, and that has been the focus. It hasn't been one endo period that didn't start off with tackling for us, because the tackling plan is the most important thing. He's going to get some runs, but as a secondary, you got to be able to make sure it's not 70, that it's only like 10, it's only like 9. So, it's focusing on the tackling plan, and then, obviously doing everything we need to do in the pass game to be able to limit, explosive plays in that aspect.
With tackling, what do you emphasize when you're facing a guy like JT?
The best tackle is any tackle. Hold on for dear life, those type of things. But no, it's all about the strike zone. He's a little strong back that he already has low pad level due to his height. But it's being able to really focus on the strike zone, run through the stiff arm that he has as good a stiff arm as anybody in the country. You're just focused on being scrappy and accelerating on contact. Because again, as you see a lot of people struggle to tackle him. But that's been our biggest focus: our tackling plan, game plan second.
Jake just mentioned that you guys need Penei to kind of step up and be the playmaker that you guys know he can be. What do you need to see from him, and how could he kind of improve going forward?
Yeah, just need him to respond, right? I mean, I think last week, as a player, any competitive player, you know that you're about to go against the number one receiver in the country. Sometimes you put a lot of pressure on yourself to be successful and perform when Penei just needs to do Penei. And as you get to be a senior and stuff like that, you feel that you have to do more, right? So we just need Penei to just go back to being Penei, and not being afraid to make mistakes, be confident to go make plays, and so I'm looking forward for him to bounce back. He played a lot. He played 80 snaps last week, right? So I'm looking forward for him to bounce back, go compete, and just give it the best effort and attitude and the technique that you can, and you let the rest of it take care of yourself. No pressure. There's no pressure, right? Only thing you need to do is your responsibility.
Coach Dickert was very vocal this week about taking accountability for some of the things that went wrong on Friday. For you, what kind of example does that set, and just kind of what tone does that set in the room and for the culture of this team?
I think that's the culture of most people that Coach Dickert hire, everybody Coach Dickert hire, right? I mean, we always start with us, because again, it's our job to put them in position to make plays, right? So I'm right there with Coach Dickert when you're in charge of the secondary and things like that, and you kind of give up some of those type of yards, you're gonna go look yourself in the mirror, and that's what great coaches do. Yes, players play, yes, players make games, but it's our job to give them the confidence, right, and to put them in those positions. So as coaches, we look at ourselves first, not the players. And so, Coach Dickert doesn't ride that on the sleeve by itself. There's a lot of coaches in that building that has that same feeling on their sleeve, and we're competitors too. So we're eager to get back out there and watch our players go be successful. And I really believe that our players are going to go be successful this week.